Hey, how are you? In this video, we will explain the story Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2. Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 is a 2022 Indian Hindi language comedy horror film directed by Anis Bazmi and written by Akash Kaushik. It was produced by Bhushan Kumar and Krishan Kumar under the banner T-Series Films and Murad Khetani. Under the banner Cine1 Studios, a stand-alone sequel of Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2007, the film stars Tabu, Kartik Aaryan and Kiara Advani. It follows Rohan, a fraud psychic who is brought in to deal with the apparent return of Manjulika, a malevolent spirit in the Thakur palace, but he unintentionally aggravates problems. Directed by Anis Bazmi, written by Farhad Samji, dialogues sought by Akash Kaushik, produced by Bhushan Kumar, Murad Khetani, Krishan Kumar, Anjum Khetani, starring Tabu, Kartik Aaryan, Kiara Advani. Production companies T-Series Films, Cine1 Studios, distributed by AA Films. Release date 20 May 2022. Running time 143 minutes. Country India. Language Hindi. Budget 65 to 80 crore. Box office 32.45 crore estimated. Principal photography began in October 2019 and filming was completed in February 2022. Primarily filmed in a real mansion in Lucknow. Other shooting locations included Mumbai and Manali. Aryan lost his voice momentarily while performing for the climax sequence of the film. Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2's soundtrack was composed by Pritham and Tanish Bagchi, with lyrics written by Amitabh Bhattacharya, Sameer Yoyo Honey Singh and Mandy Gill. It features a remix single of the 2007 film's title track by Neeraj Sridhar, initially set for release on 31st July 2022. Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 was delayed owing to the COVID-19 pandemic. It was theatrically released in India on 20 May 2022 and received positive reviews from critics. As of 21 May 2022, the film has earned 32 crore in India. In 2004, in a palace in Bhavanigarh, Rajasthan, a group of priests attempt to capture an angry spirit. The spirit drags a woman by her hair, but the priests successfully trap it inside a room before she could be harmed. The family living in the palace abandon their residence. In the present day, Rohan Randhawa meets Reet Thakur in Himachal Pradesh on a bus journey to Chandigarh. Reet is engaged and traveling to her place for her marriage. A smitten Rohan convinces Reet to attend a music festival, missing their bus. On returning to the station, they find that the bus they were supposed to take fell into a ditch and all the passengers died. Reet attempts to talk to her family, who assume she has died, but they cannot hear her. She overhears that her cousin is in love with her fiancé. Reet decides to play dead for the time so that her cousin's marriage is fixed with Reet's fiancé. Reet and Rohan reach Bhavanigarh and hides in her ancestral palace, where the spirit is said to be trapped. Chote Pandit notices that the lights to the palace are on and informs everyone. Reet's family come to the palace to investigate and find Rohan there. They confront him and Rohan pretends to be a psychic who was brought there by Reet's spirit. He convinces her family by telling stories of her childhood and informs them that Reet's final wishes were to stay in the ancestral home with her family and to see her cousin get married. Rohan soon becomes famous in the village by the name Ruh Baba. Meanwhile, three priests, Bade Pandit, Chote Pandit and Pandit Yen, whose business is affected because of Rohan, try to convince the villagers that he is a fraud. Reet and Rohan fall in love with each other and secretly start going out on dates. One night while drunk, Rohan and Reet's uncle try to open the door of Manjulika's room and are caught by Thakur and Anjulika. Reet's sister-in-law Anjulika reprimands them and reveals Manjulika's backstory. Manjulika and Anjulika were identical twins who came to the palace from Kolkata as children with their father. He favored Anjulika, leading to be a jealous Manjulika growing apart from them and start practicing black magic. Manjulika falls in love with Uday Thakur, but Uday chooses Anjulika over her for marriage. Manjulika decides to kill Anjulika. She leaves the palace at night to perform black magic. Her father, who who follows and confronts her, is killed and she attacks her sister. Anjulika ends up fatally stabbing Manjulika in defense. Manjulika's spirit continued to torment them even after death and is said to have pushed Uday from the balcony, paralyzing him. They called a priest to lock Manjulika's spirit in a room and left the palace. The family believes that they are under Manjulika's curse, as a result of which 9 members of their family have died. One night while returning from their date, Rohan and Reet are caught by Chote Pandit, who informs the other priest. They barge in the palace to tell Thakur that Rohan is a liar and the Reet is alive. They demand a search of the palace to find Reet and prove it. The duo run and hide from the search party and go to the 3rd floor. As a last resort, they hide in the room where Manjulika is said to be trapped, freeing the spirit. In the following days, the wedding's preparations are disrupted by the spirit. People see her walking on the walls, who is later revealed to be the priestess walking with hopes in order to fool people and instill fear, thinking it will expose Rohan. One night, Anjulika is attacked by Manjulika's spirit and finds out about Reet. Upon confrontation, Reet comes out and explains their actions to Anjulika. Anjulika reveals that Manjulika's spirit wants revenge and has threatened to kill every member of the family. In order to get help, they go to the same priest who locked Manjulika 18 years ago. He assures them of their family's safety and sends them home. The same night, on their way to the palace, the priest gets possessed by Manjulika and kills his disciples and run away. On a usual visit to a family aiding as Rubaba, Rohan finds out about the act of the 3 priests and confrontations them to teach them a lesson. The 3 priests encounter Manjulika and run. Rohan finds Manjulika and, thinking it to be the priestess, comes to confront her. On finding out, he himself runs away and is then pushed off a fort. Lights of the palace go out as Rohan returns singing the song of Manjulika. The family members find him dancing in the hall, speaking Bengali and acting strange. Rohan is revealed to be possessed by Manjulika's spirit and threatens Anjulika in front of the family. The family members find Reet and she is revealed to be alive. As Rohan gets closer to Anjulika, she pulls Reet and holds a knife to her throat and mistakenly reveals her true identity. Rohan reveals that he was pretending to be possessed as he knew the truth. He informs everyone that she is actually Manjulika and that Anjulika has been dead for 18 years. Anjulika's spirit appears and saves Reet. It is unveiled that Manjulika had controlled her sister by black magic on the night of her marriage and exchanged places with her. Under the spell, Anjulika came to stab her but got intentionally stabbed. Uday Thakur found out about the truth but was pushed off the balcony by Manjulika, so he couldn't reveal the truth. Manjulika admits to everything and tells that she is pretended to be her sister in order to live her life and that she killed the 9 members who found out about her true identity. Anjulika's spirit then drags Manjulika and traps her in the same room she was trapped 18 years ago. She thanks Rohan for understanding her and telling her story. Anjulika states she has finished business with her sister and enters the locked room to Manjulika's screams. The family once again leaves the palace. Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 was released on 20 May 2022. The film was originally scheduled to be released in theaters on July 31, 2020 but was delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 earned 14.11 crore at the domestic box office on its opening day. On the second day, the film collected 18.34 crore, taking total domestic collection to 32.45 crore. Critical reception. Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 received positive reviews from critics. A critic for Bollywood Hungama gave the film 4.5 stars out of 5 and wrote, Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 is a complete entertainer and works due to the splendid combo of horror and comedy. Palabi De Purkayastha of the Times of India rated it 3.5 stars out of 5 and wrote, Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 is an agglomeration of grief and the grieving. Rohit Watts of Daily News and Analysis gave it 3.5 stars out of 5 and wrote, Bhool Bhulaiyaa Bhulaiyaa 2 is an out and out entertainer. And next in the line of typical Bollywood masala films, Avinash Lohana of Pink Villa rated the film 3 stars out of 5 and wrote Kartik, Kiara and Tabu live up to their parts. The film has a mass appeal and the potential to bring the audience back into the theaters. Tashar Joshi of India Today similarly gave the film 3 stars out of 5 and wrote Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 has all the masala and makings to satiate the taste buds. It's funny in places, tries to be scary most of the time, but like it's little, its efforts get somewhere lost in a maze. Bharti Pradhan of Lehre also gave it the same rating and wrote Tabu proves once again that she's a rare blend of versatility in performance with an arresting face. It's not the kind of film where you stop to look for logic. Rohit Bhatnagar of the Free Press Journal rated the film 3 stars out of 5 and wrote horror comedy is a tricky genre but Anis Bazmi dabbles with funny one-liners and jump scares together quite well. Devesh Sharma of Filmfare also with 3 stars out of 5 wrote watch the film for Tabu's and Karthik's performances and for its comic elements. Nandini Ramnath of Scrollin also gave the film 3 stars out of 5 and wrote Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 moves along on its heroes' insouciance, Tabu's screen presence and patches of entertaining comedy in a mixed review. Sukanya Verma of Rediff.com rated the film 2.5 stars out of 5 and found that the film did not take itself seriously to its strength, writing Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 is a silly scary movie that knows it is a silly scary movie. Shalini Langer of the Indian Express rated the film 2 stars out of 5 and felt the humor could have been more sensitive. There are repeated jokes at the expense of an overweight child and a hard of hearing pundit. With 1.5 stars out of 5, Tatsam Mukherjee of First Post lamented for the sequel having no narrative relation with the previous film.